My name's Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I'm going to say thank you for tuning in. Today I want to talk about something of a video that or a short video, I guess I could say, of something that I saw with my dog yesterday. That'll be posted today, but this video will be for tomorrow. On the idea of reacting versus responding. When I saw that video of him just moving these turkeys around, the turkeys are hounding him. There's like 5 or 6 of them that are just like always putting all this pressure on him. The pressure. That's the way I can say is just in reality, the symbolism of the pressure of the world is just always on us. We can't really run away from it. It's just there. But there's, in reality, just 2 ways that you can deal with it. You can either react or you can respond. And it's a very amazing thing for me to see how this dog really does function. He doesn't react to him. He's not scared. He's not nervous. He's not, oh my goodness, I got to do something crazy, do something wild, do something maddening to make this stop. No, he's assessing the situation and realizing, I just want to respond to it. And respond to it in a way of doing just enough, not too much, but also putting a plan in on what he's doing. When you're reacting, you're just in your emotions. And you're going to do and say and be about some stuff that is just foolish, absolute foolishness. You're gonna start to do all the, say, negative things of us as humans. You're gonna start to manipulate. You're gonna start to lie. You're gonna start to cheat. You're gonna start to slander. You're gonna start to gossip. You're gonna start to take things' lives. You're gonna start to go overboard when you're reacting, because you're not like consciously. You're not aware of. You're not paying attention to the actions that you're doing. You're just, something happens and you just run off into it so fast in a haste that you're not even really questioning in reality what's going on. And the other side of it is responding. I'm seeing what's going on. I'm seeing what's happening. And I'm gonna, because I say this in many videos, because I really believe in this. I really just forget even believing it. I really know this about life. I'm gonna let it play out for a little bit, especially when my dogs are like chasing something or getting a little too far into it. I let it play out for a while. I don't just instantly like, oh, don't do that. I'm going to wait and play it out and see what's about to happen here. Is what's going to happen what I thought was going to happen? Or what's going to happen is something that is just so unique, so new, so different that I'm over stressing, over putting anything in doing anything. So I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Most cases, if you just let it play out, you're going to notice that the stuff goes away, because what the stuff is looking for from you is a reaction. And if you don't give the reaction, they're going to have no choice but to just move away. And then you let it play out. So that's what this dog does in this video. He just lets it play out. He's like, okay, what are y'all going to do? What are you going to do? You can't hurt me. You can't do nothing to me. I know you're I mean, in reality, they're almost the same size, but they're not the same type species. The teeth on this dog compared to those animals, he is superior, far superior over what these other little animals are, even though they're a similar size. They're just different. So he's just going to play it out and know that I don't need to do anything because there is no, say, immediate threat. So I'm going to respond to what I'm seeing after I see more of what it is that you're actually trying to do. If you actually try to, say, in a sense of physically harm me, then I'm going to respond to say, you're not going to physically harm me anymore. If you are going to, say, spiritually harm me, I'm going to say, I'm going to just let it go and just see, like, what are you trying to do? Because in that sense, straight up, you can't actually do anything to me. But if I react, I'm now giving everything that other being is wanting from me. That reaction to see me to fumble, to see me stumble, to see me get nervous, to get scared, to see me have to fight and defend, to see me have to try to conquer and destroy. That's what reactions bring. Responding brings what I want to say is an extreme level of peace, because you're able to assess the situation, play out the situation to see, what are you actually doing to me? Because most problems that people are having today is not much of a physical thing. You don't every day, all day, some people, unfortunately, but most people all day, there's not somebody with a knife or a gun that's literally trying to threaten your life every moment of your life. That's not all the time going on. You're going to have those certain circumstances in your life that happens that, yes, you're going to approach things much differently. Like, please get the heck away, get yourself safe. But most of the, say, attacks that are happening is something that is, the best word I want to use is fake. It's fake. The way that this animal, such as a turkey, thinks that it's going to overpower or try to take over this dog, there's no real threat here. There's no real danger here. There's no real anything. So when there's no real threat, real danger, because it's coming in a sense of just, say, words, for instance, and in a spiritual way like that, then there's no reason to do anything but just to straight up walk away. And if you have to say something, you're going to delay saying something to make sure that you say something in a sense of being able to respond to what it is that's going on and not in your emotions. Reactions and emotions is like the two things, and feelings. They're all like all in the same stuff. When you're doing that, you're not progressing at all. You're standing still. You're just spinning in a circle going absolutely nowhere. When you finally stop that and go into, I'm going to respond to what's going on. Now I'm going to think about what it is that I'm going to, so this weird thinking starts to become practical. I'm going to think about, okay, that person said this to me. What should I say back? And in most, especially if it's just words, most cases you're just like, well, I'm not going to say anything back because there's no point. Because all they're going to do is come back with more stuff to say to try to get me to keep saying, to try to keep me to get engaged, to try to keep me to stay in it, that it's pointless. So some people say is not responding and not saying is a weak way to go. But in reality, it is the most strongest, most disciplined way to be able to move on this planet, especially with words. Words is the main thing I'm talking about here, not obviously a physical thing. Somebody has a gun on you and they're trying to take your watch, give them the watch. You'll get another one tomorrow. Well, maybe not tomorrow, but you'll get another one at some point. They want your money. They want your car. Just, dude, take it. Take it. I saw a very funny short of a guy that someone was trying to steal his car. And he's like, oh, man, here's the keys, the insurance. Let me go get it for you. Let me show you. He's like, please don't get pulled over. Please just keep riding the car. Make the car disappear from me, please. And if you do, just wreck it. Just destroy it. Do what you do. Just take it, please. And he's showing him, this button doesn't work. And sometimes when you start it, you gotta hit it a little couple times. He's like, just take it. That's the way that in reality we should be when someone is threatening your life with, say, a physical item. But when it comes to words and a spiritual thing, there's nothing that in reality you could ever say, you could ever do that's going to satisfy that other person to get them to stop doing other than just walking away and just keeping the silence and just do absolutely nothing at all. Nothing of nothingness of nothingness. Because all that's going to happen is you're going to start to get into your reactive mode. Because you'll notice, especially like this YouTube stuff, and I don't really do much other stuff, Instagram, and I did start a Facebook account so I can get to the poultry auctions, more information. But all these things, you'll be surprised that when you say something, how fast that they come back and say something back to you. Because they're also living in reactions. They're not living in responding. They're living in reaction. You'll be surprised. You'll say something like, oh, that's not right. This is what it is. And then like 10 seconds later, they're already just getting back on top of you, saying, oh, no, but this. And then you say something, oh, no, this. It's like a Oreo. No. Hold on. Johnny. Nope. I don't want to mess with my donkey. They can do whatever they want out here. Just don't mess with the donkey. That's a mismatch of the same way as a dog to the turkey. The donkey to the dog is the beast out here. And these dogs get in their brains of like, hey, I want to try to investigate and play with you. And they're going to react as opposed to respond. And it's going to cause that donkey will kill a dog in like 15 seconds. I just don't need that. I got to keep the peace. So sometimes I got to get in the middle of what's going on with them to make sure that they get back into reality. Dude, you see that you're a 90-pound dog and you see that, I don't even know how much this donkey weighs. I don't know, 800 pounds, 700 pounds, 900 pounds. He's a big dude and he's kind of fat right now, but that's a big animal. In a physical sense, don't mess with it. And in a spiritual words making sense, still don't mess with it because you're not going to gain anything from it, but just lose. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose everything by engaging. And to the point of some people, unfortunately, you lose your life because you keep engaging in something that you need not to be engaging in. And that's something that I just realized is just seeing the differences of how it's so cool to see how in reality, most stuff that I learn on this planet comes from just sitting, relaxing and watching the animals, seeing what they do. And I see how they do it in such a like pure way, I guess I could say, in such a natural, the real way is what I can say. As opposed to us as humans, we add on, we do too much. We try to fluff it up. We try to talk it up. We try to say that we're this and say that we're better. The animals just don't do that. They're either tough and strong or they're not. And they just accept that. And then when they get into a battle, for instance, if it's a physical battle and one loses, it's like, oh, okay, well, it is what it is. My problem is I'm always getting in the middle of the donkey of not allowing him to fulfill his job of being able to kill the dog. So that it empowers the dogs a little bit more to think like, I got a backing, which is me. And I'm stripping that from their brain of, nah, buddy, if you really, I just don't want my dog to die. But in reality, I don't want that to happen. But in reality, that has to happen. That should happen if it was in nature. If I just watched it in nature, I would have right now probably 2 dead dogs. Kahi and Johnny here is sitting here pushing them, and that donkey puts his head up like, you better get up off me. And in nature, he would have just killed them. In nature. And in nature, when I'm just watching how these animals work, it lets me realize like how I should move and how I should be. Living in what's really real here and not the fakeness. Because again, the dogs think I have their back, that I'm going to stop the donkey from doing. That's the same way that humans are. Humans get together with other humans and think like, now we all are our group. We're all a clan. Now we have more to be able to go out and be able to do. More reacting, as opposed to being more responsive with what's going on. Being responsive and responding to things is a beautiful thing in life. And it's not easy. It's something that you have to learn, because right away from like birth, in reality, how we're taught and everyone that's showing us and being around us is teaching us to react. It's to react. Somebody says this about your mama, now you just got to come out and say it back again. Somebody says this about your daddy, you got to come out and say it right again. Somebody says this about your brother or your sister, you got to come out, you got to go and start fighting. Somebody says this about your friend, you got to go and fight and defend, you got to go and crazy and go wild. Like literally day one, that's what's being taught to us. Day one's not being taught to us. Who cares if they say that about your sister? Is that true? No. So move on. Move on. There's nothing to sit here and continue to keep on talking about. And for some reason, that seems to be like an impossible thing for most people to do today. Let's just move on. Move on. You said what you had to say. You showed what you needed to show. Now just move forward. Just move on. You keep doing what you're doing, because those people and those things, they're never gonna, they might, I'll say never, but there may be a slim chance that they see what you're doing and decide like, you know what, I'll change it up. I like what you're doing. I see it, but they'll never see it if all you're doing is reacting, because you have no, what's the word to use? You have no credibility if all you're doing is reactions. And that's an interesting thing of saying the word of reactions, because what is one thing? It's not, I personally, my YouTube is really phenomenal to me. And the algorithm stuff is absolutely amazing. But YouTube used to be huge about reaction videos, which I'm almost going to guarantee they're all still there. I just don't watch it because I don't care to be reactive at all anymore. Is reaction videos. Reaction videos. I make this video of this person. I'm reacting to what this person is saying. I'm reacting and responding to what this person is saying. I'm reacting. And they're saying something and they can't even let that person say 2 seconds, and they got to stop it off and say, going to talk for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, shoot, most people like 15 minutes. And then they play 2 more seconds and they got to keep going. They got to keep doing it because you're living in a reactionary way, and not living in a responding way, hearing and actually watching and actually learning what somebody is saying and doing, and then making a decision on what I'm going to say next. Because that's the part of, some people, it started off with reactions of they would watch the video and then they would make a video. But then there's the people that just have never watched a video at all, put it on, and just start to play 5 seconds of it, and they're instantly, because that's a person that is living 100% in a reaction way. And that is a hard person to pay attention to, because that is a person that is only trying to get you to stay in your emotions and your feelings. They do not want you to become logical. They do not want you to become conscious. They want you to absolutely continue to stay in this tit for tat, this fight and this battle. That they're not even paying any attention to what's going on. They're just reacting. And reacting it's cool for me to be able to see, because that's what I see everywhere today. And it's the dogs in reality that expose it the easiest, because again, for some reason, they live, what I want to say is pure. The animals on this world just live a pure life. It's savage, but we as humans are savage. But this savage, the dog eats the bunny. The dog eats the chicken. The dog eats the quail. The dog eats the bird. They do all that. The coyotes are killing pet dogs. The coyotes are killing cats. The cats are killing the birds and the lizards and the snakes and the everything. My goodness, I don't know what a cat doesn't kill. And the bigger the cat, the more that they kill. And when it gets to the cat of a lion, they'll kill anything. Even a human, they'll kill whatever. It's savage, but they live a real truthful life where everything knows its role. And when the gazelle sees the lion, the gazelle's like, I'm going to fight back today. No, it's going to get the heck out and say, I'm going to move on for another day. I'm not going to sit here and battle that. I'm going to move on. And then the gazelle's like, you know what? I'm going to get even smarter. Then I'm going to get more aware, so that my senses are going to get even stronger, so that I can hear it when it's even further away. so that I can go ahead and escape and go ahead and hide and get out of here. And not escape may not be the right word, but it is a good word. But be able to just still live your life, but tune your senses to be stronger so that you can sense when the danger is coming, to realize that I can go ahead and just remove myself from the danger as opposed to being in the danger. So then now I have to react because now I don't have any other thing to do because now it's here. That's what's so funny about dogs in reality. It was so neat about them and how they can catch a bunny. These rabbits, especially, my goodness, you take a dog, because they all can, not all, but most all, like say a 50-pound dog can catch a rabbit that can literally run twice as fast as it. It could turn it could go 40 miles an hour, turn 40 miles an hour. It's impressive how a dog could ever even be able to get to the point of being able to take one out. And what they're doing is they're getting the rabbit to not react, but to respond. And that response is what the dog is looking for. The dog is coercing that rabbit to be able to get closer and closer and closer to it. The dog is almost in a sense of trying to say, I'm your friend. And this is why a big lesson to learn right there. People are going to come close to you that are going to try to be your friend. But they're not trying to be your friend to help you. They're trying to be your friend to take you out, to end you, to destroy you. And that's why when you just watch nature, you see that. I see that. So if I'm seeing that the dog is getting close to the rabbit, especially they're really funny, real interesting with like the vermins, the rats and mice and all that, because they come up to it like, hey, we're cuddle buddies. Let's just hang out, man. I'm gonna relax with you, only just to eat it, destroy it. And that's a lesson that I'm looking at of saying, these people that come in and try to be super sweet, try to be super nice, try to be super just, I'm on your side, man. I'm here for you, man. I appreciate you, man. They're only trying to get that close to just get you to mess up so that they can start to consume and take over. It's an unfortunate thing of how it is like that. But the main thing is when you're living in that reactive, you're not getting your senses to be stronger. You're not getting your conscious thinking to be stronger. You're never going to be, not never, but you're not going to be able to get into that point where you're finally able to respond to the things that are going on around you. And all that you're going to continue to keep on seeing is these things keep coming to you. That's why it's an interesting thing. I've listened to countless of thousands of hours of interviews and talks and stuff about narcissistic abuse. And one thing that almost like 100% of the people across the board, male, female, I don't care what it is, they always say, you know what? They keep coming back to me. I just divorced this man. I divorced this woman because she's crazy. Like, it was just so wild. It was so weird. And then they're like in this doom and gloom for a couple of years. And then their friends hype them up. It's like, get back out. Not everybody's like that. You just met a bad one. It's unfortunate. And the next girlfriend, boyfriend you get, and you realize like, wow, everything is so great. This is smooth. I did find a good one. And then it turns into the same thing weeks, months, years later. Usually it's months, it's not years. But usually it's months later and you just ignore the signs because you're just trying to have good faith for that person. And you just go right down into the same thing. And then you're like, oh my goodness. And you break up with that person or you divorce that person. And then you go do it. And it's like they keep coming back over and over and over. They keep coming back because you're still reacting. You're not responding. When you respond to someone that's being ridiculous to you, you're done. I've had so many females in my life that want to get close to me, and I see the foolishness, and I'm just like, yep, I'm maybe petty, but I block your number right away. I'm done. I'm not even going to give you a chance to even speak to me anymore. This is why for me, I really like where I live because you can't just show up and knock on my front door no more. You're not coming here no more. But I'm quick to I'm going to block you. I'm done. I'm finished. It's gone. Sounds petty, but it's not. It's me being responsive over reactive. Being reactive is that person is already able to send you that text that already knowing is going to get into your emotions. It's going to get in your feelings. And you're reading that text and you're starting to build up and you're starting to get hot, you're starting to sweat, you're starting to get anxious, you're starting to get all these things. You're allowing that person to get to you that shouldn't be there. And you're allowing that to happen, for one, because we're not wanting to work on being able to get out of a reactive mode because we think that that's all that it is because that's all that it has been. And to try to build the best word to use is the discipline to get away from that is hard. It's really hard. And it can make you feel lonely at first for a while where you're just like, oh, everyone's no good. Everyone's know this. But you'll start to weed out and figure out and learn more of what's going on. The more and more you keep practicing, getting away from just reacting right away. Someone sends you that text that's just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Just stop. Put the phone down. My goodness, I believe that that's one thing today that is just jamming people up. Whereas 100 years ago, how long did it take you to get a response from somebody? So they could send you a hate mail, and it would take what? 2 weeks? I mean, that's probably being generous 100 years ago. It would take you might take 2 months to get that response back. But today you can get a response back literally faster than you can even hit send. Because our phones today are so destructive in a way that you send it and now they put the little bubbles down there to like, they're already responding. You sent this message of like, please leave me alone. Just stop texting me. I just don't want to do this no more. And you hit send and you see bubbles before you can even get out the app. You're like, holy cow, what's going on right now? And that is just going to continue to keep on sending you down just a negative spiral. And the thing is, you gotta discipline yourself, work on yourself to just stop that. Stop it. And then once you stop that, you'll be able to get more space. When you get more space, you'll be able to recognize what's coming in and be able to react or respond based on what's going on around you. And you're not just going to be in this fight or flight instantly right away anymore. Because that's what's going on with most people. You're just, oh my goodness, I got to fight right away because they said this about me. Or I gotta run away because you said this about me. As opposed to just being indifferent to what somebody has to say to you. You know, that's the one thing that I still believe is probably one of the most challenging things about YouTube, that I've seen this and heard this from especially new people that start. I like watching folks like with channels like mine. We just started. Well, I didn't just start. I've been making videos for a while, but most people have been making videos for a couple of years, and you're just going. You're not like 500,000 subscribers, a million subscribers. You're just a person that's got 5 videos and 2 subscribers. I'm like, let me see what this person is saying. And there's a common theme that everyone says, man, the comment section, it's hard. It's brutal. It's rough. Especially when you first start, especially when you're thinking like, not even thinking, but knowing that, man, I put a lot into that video, especially those that are just like, because me, I don't do the editing stuff, but I put a lot in just having to say and put out what I have to say. I put a lot into it. It's not just, there's a lot behind this. This is why most people in reality just simply can't even be able to do that. But especially if you're like editing, you got the intro, and it's just got the music, it's got the effects, you put a lot into it. And you're so impressed with yourself with what you did. And then you get your first 10 people that are just like, yeah, that's trash. This is stupid. I can't watch this. I can't believe this person is even out here doing this. What these people are doing is trying to get you to react, as opposed to you being able to respond. And being able to respond by being able to hear what they have to say, see that comment, and then in reality, just ponder on that for a moment. Is that real? Is that real? What that person thinks, does it matter to me? Because in most cases, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. If someone's like, oh, that video is trash. Oh, what you're talking about is stupid. Does that matter? Does what their life and what their everything going on, does that matter? No, in reality. Especially if I'm not out here saying, oh, let everybody grab arms and let's go to the streets and let's go start to take out every single person that looks like this color. You know, if you're making a message like that, that's a little iffy. But for me personally, I'm just not even going to watch madness like that at all. But most people aren't doing that. Not almost 100% of people are simply just not doing that. We got some out here that are, but most people are not doing that. So what they're saying and what they're doing has nothing to do with what's going on in your life. Someone could say to me, I don't like how your chickens are and where they are. I'm going to say, okay, cool, man. Awesome. I don't like that you feed your dogs them. I don't like that you let your dogs kill them. Cool, man. That's your life over there. What my life and what I'm doing right here, especially isn't hurting anybody, isn't destroying anybody, isn't messing with anybody. Then what I'm doing is awesome. I like it. I'm really impressed with what's going on. I'm almost impressed every single day when I come out and I just look around, I just see what's going on. I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. But someone else can come here and be like, oh, no. Okay, cool, buddy. Congratulations. You go ahead and go back over there and keep doing what you were doing. And I'm going to do it here. And that's the thing of, again, today, of how it's so fast for people to just be able to bring up, I would say it's criticism, but that's not the correct word for what criticism is. Oh, it's hate. Hate. And what's the other word? Naysayers and hate. There's a third one in there. I can't think of that word. But hecklers. That's what that is. That's not criticism. Criticism is to be able to come in and say, you know what? I see what you're doing, but maybe you should try it like this. Even if you don't do what I do, I'm still going to look at that and say, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Because that's what happened to me in reality in one of my videos that I posted to try to show the Dalmatian what's going on. My dogs are chasing the rooster around, and they didn't want to just release right when I said it. That was criticism to me. That wasn't haters. There weren't haters out there that were saying, oh my goodness, this stupid, this foolish. No, criticism said, hey, you should have been able to call that dog off from that better than how you did it. And I was like, and people that have no experience, none at all. I memean, there was like multiple videos out there about other people making videos on their channels about that whole scenario that I watched them all. I was like, I just want to see what people have to say. And I believe 100% of people were so kind to me, even though it probably came off in you're trying to be negative towards me, but you were negative enough to kind to me to criticize me and saying, yeah, you should have, even though you have zero experience. Most people that talk about anything I've done, you've never been around a rooster in your life. And I'm going to guarantee it, because when you have been, you're going to understand why I do certain things that I do, because these things are nothing to play around with. But they were like, you should have been able to call that dog off better. And I thought at that time it was pretty good. At that time, I think that was good based on what I've ever even personally have seen, but based on the progressions of where I started compared to where I am now. I'm like, wow, that was good. You know, I didn't have to throw anything at them. I didn't have to put a leash on them. I just got a little loud and I removed myself and they came with me. I was like, that's pretty good. But then I was like, I like that criticism, because it said, Mark, you could still get better. You could still get better. And I was like, okay. And I'm getting better. And today, my goodness, it's like none of the same. They can go full pursuit into one and I can call them right off. Just come back, come here. And that's something that at the end of the day, you know, just dog trainer, dog skill to dog skill, show me that, because people in the highest level of protection sports can't get their dogs to call off from a bite sleeve. Get your dog to call off from an animal that you've told that it's okay to go ahead and contain. Good luck. That's not something easy to do. But as hard as that is, the criticism that came in, I was like, cool. I was like, thank you. So I started working on it. I started working on it really hard. When someone would come in and say, hey, Mark, you know, that stuff that you got going on with how your dogs and how permissive you are and how soft you are and how not so of a ruler you are, your dogs are just going to run all around you. I was like, cool. I listened to that and I was like, let me try some stuff out. Let me try some things out. When my own self says to myself, you know, maybe you touch the dogs too much. Maybe you do this too much. Maybe you do that too much. And I'm like, okay, let me lay back. I'm not reacting. I'm responding. Reacting would just double down in, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the greatest. Can't nobody this. Can't nobody that. There's nothing that's better. This is the best thing ever. This is the farthest it's ever going to go. And I just personally would never go that way, because I'm not going to react. I'm just going to respond and say, okay, I see what you're saying. Let me work on it. And that, for some reason, is so hard for people to do. I don't know why, but it's so hard for people to just be able to respond to things, to just sit back and just wait, to be able to say, okay, this is why I do this. Because that's very interesting that, like, say that instance with me, with that video. I never made a video of saying why I allow my dogs to be able to chase my roosters. Most people on most farms, on almost everyone that I know, if a dog chases a chicken, they kill, in most cases, unfortunately, just saying it, they kill the dog. They kill the dog. They get rid of the dog. They kill the dog is gone. They never even think of, like, I'm going to rehabilitate this dog. I'm not going to do that to this dog. Because if once a dog gets that bloodthirst, that's what it's going to do. But for me personally, I do different things than what other people do. And the different things that I do that, say, I'm happy about and I'm excited about, why am I going to react to what somebody else has to say about what it is that I'm doing? When I'm not harming you, I'm not doing nothing to you. I'm not destroying you. I'm just trying to work on my own skills to be able to get better, to be able to get to a place that I'm just like, hold on. I'll be good. Get to a place that I'm finally just satisfied with being able to. My whole existence that I'm really working on is just how to be able to calm down, how to be able to relax, how to be able to have more peace in my life without things just being crazy and things just being wild. How I could just sit down, not pay attention, and just know that everything is good. That's what I'm working on. And so I appreciate it when criticism comes in, even if you have no experience with what it is that I do. But the main thing is, when people get criticism, when people have haters, when people have everything, you're quick to just react. You're quick to just, I didn't do that. I did that. This is the biggest thing between, especially couples in households. Your husband didn't do something, and woman, you're just like, you're hounding him just in a flash. Not thinking about anything going on, not like worrying about, like, hey, are you okay? You know, just straight up, a simple question that pretty much every spouse should say to spouse. Are you okay? You know, you didn't take the trash out and you told him to take the trash out. Just he didn't do it. Instead of going to yell at him, just say, is everything all right, man? Like, what's going on? And more than likely, he's going to say, yeah, I was thinking about this. I had to do this. I had to do this. You know what? I'll get to that, but I totally forgot because I was so focused over here instead. Man, your life would be like solved by just responding to and instead of reacting. Most people are reacting, they're like, you didn't do it, and then you go take it out. Just to have this show of force of like, look, I'm doing it because you just can't get nothing done. Look at you, you worthless man. That's what I'm saying, but honey, what's happening? And he says, you know what, today at work, it was just rough. It was so rough that I don't know why I'm still in it, but I'm still thinking about it, I'm still in it. So me still thinking about it, still in it, I don't care about the dang trash. The trash is there, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. This work thing, it's stuck. It's stuck in me. Man, simple ways of just being able to slow down and being able to respond to the things that are going on in life is an absolutely amazing, beautiful thing to be able to experience on this planet. Thank you. You got a little ball on your leg right there. All these dogs are just so darn cool. I appreciate being able to have them, work with them, be around them. Some days I was just so frustrated because in reality I was just frustrated at myself. But then when I realized how to just get out of that reactionary mode and starting to put a plan together, I'm like, wow, things are, excuse me, things are just much, absolutely much better, much more relaxed, much more enjoyable. And just looking at everything, social media that way, when someone writes a message to me like, blah, 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 I'm just like, hey, okay, cool. All right, buddy. You know, keep living your life, keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to do mine. I'm not going to react to what you say because that's what you want from me. That's what you want me to do. You want to make videos, you want to talk about, you want to make posts, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to make websites, you want to put a banner up, you want to leave bad reviews, you want to do what you want to do to try to get me to stay in this reactionary mode to make sure that I'm not able to actually get my footing. Is a good way of saying it. You want me wobbly all the time. You want me on edge all the time. You want me always like able to just move at any moment when you want me to move. You want to be able to say a word and get me to like, oh, I'm going to go over there. You want to say a word, so oh, go over there. Because this is a big thing with me. I just had a revelation the other day. I think yesterday I was talking about it. I just stopped eating because I want to be skinny. I've listened to people my entire life. Oh, you're so skinny. You're so skinny. You're so skinny. But I can't say you're fat though, right? But you could call me skinny. So I would always try to like get bigger and bigger and bigger. And in reality, that was allowing people's words to be able to say things to me to get me to be what in reality I don't want to be. I don't know what it is. I like being. So for me, I don't even know what the BMI scales are. I think so I'm on like the 0.1%, the 1% tile of my height and weight. I'm at the bottom, to the point where it's like I'm almost where someone would say I'm unhealthy because I weigh too little for my size. And I feel the strongest, the fastest, the most agile, the not hurting, the best of the best of life. When I'm like, cause I'm trying to lose 15 pounds right now. I'm trying to get back to 155 is my ideal. I'm 6 feet, a little over 6 feet, 155. That's just my prime. I can run longer. I can walk longer. I can work longer. I can lift more. I can carry more. I just have more stamina. I have more endurance. I sleep better. I eat better. I drink better. I do everything better. But yet I'm listening to what people say of you're too thin. You're too small. Those naysayers, those haters want to keep me reactive so that every time that they see me and they see that I'm not eating something, they're like, oh, look at you, look at you, look at you. You're just going to fly away. You're just going to wither away. And so I started to gain weight. Then I started to look at myself in disgust. I started to just see like, look at my shoulders, look at my chest, look at my stomach, like look at my thighs. Like I just started to look at myself in disgust in reality, all because of what people are saying to me, as opposed to me just doing what I want, doing how I want to be. I'm not hurting you by being 155 pounds. I'm not hurting you at all. But yet for some reason that was like in my brain that I somehow was like like someone's opinion of looking down upon me because I was so small that, oh my goodness, like I'm hurting you. That's trying to keep me reactive, trying to make me stay in that. It's like, oh, you on that fast again? People used to always say that to me. Oh, you on that fast again, aren't you? Why aren't you eating? You're not going to be here next week if you just keep not eating. I'm I'm still here. I'm 39 years old, still here, still pushing, still moving, still don't see the doctors, still strong. Still, if I have anything that ever hurts, it just feels better the next morning. I don't know how. It's like a miracle in my mind. Something hurt. Like, I don't know what it is. The other day I took a nap. I woke up, my knee was hurting. I went to sleep that night, woke up the next morning, knee was perfectly fine. Back to brand new again. That's just how my life is. When I just stop eating, when I drink better drinks, I've been drinking these kombucha things. They really helped. I've done this. This is the first time I'm limiting my eating, and drinking these things are much better than those smoothies I used to drink. So I used to do a smoothie fast, where I would just not eat for 5 days, and then I would drink smoothies for about 30 days, and then I'll start to introduce like solid foods again after that. But I think that those smoothies from these places, sorry, I'm going crazy right now, but there's too much sugar, there's too much added, there's too much in it. Where this stuff is different. It like, I'll be hungry and I'll drink one and I'm like good. I'm like, wow, like I'm good. Like that hunger, everything just disappeared. And I could feel, this is weird with me, I could feel my body like eating itself. I could feel the fat in my stomach like it gets the burning and tingling. Not burning like it hurts, like a bad sensation, but I could just feel it where it's just like, it's just wanting to go away because it's not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be there. And then I don't get that hunger feeling of like that sharp pain in it. It goes away. It just disappears. So something in those drinks, they used to be expensive, like $8, $9, but now at the HEB here, and they opened up down the street. They 2 miles from me now. They're like a $3 a drink, so it's much cheaper than the smoothies, and it's much more fulfilling. But that's me. That's me. I'm just a skinny dude, and I enjoy it. And I allow people to be able to say how it needs to be. I like what I do with my dogs and how they are. I enjoy them, but I'm listening to what everyone else has to say is like, I'm negatively affecting you because of what I do. I like that see, that's not the word. That's the word. I like that I follow Jesus, even though someone would say, "Oh no, that's not right. That's no good." I like that I could do that. I like that I can freely say that. For one, I live in a country that allows me to be able to do such a thing, which is really cool. But I like that I can do that and not worry about what you have to say. Not you to try to debunk that. Not you to try to. You can. Anyone can. Anyone can come try to say, "Oh, this ain't right. Look at this in the scriptures. This." And at the end of the day, I'm okay. All right. I've read it and multiple times read it, and reading it doesn't mean that you know it. Being able to understand it through living it is how you're able to be able to just really learn what is real and what is not. And I've been able to live it and been able to just practice what it is that I know is right, because it's inside of me. It's not out there. It's in me. It's in me. It's smothered in me. It's not something out there that I have to go get and then I'll be good. I got to go that and then I'll be good. I got that and then I'll be good. No, it's inside of me. Everything I need is inside of me. Every move that I need to make is inside of me. Every decision is inside of me. I don't need to go outside to go and find it. And that's what most people are doing, is going outside, and that's what keeps you reactive. It keeps you in that reactionary way, not being able to actually make a concrete decision. You're just reactive. Something happens, all day. All day, you wake up like that. You wake up, the alarm goes off, and you're instantly like, I got this, I got this, I got this. As opposed to just wake up 30 minutes earlier, sit for a moment. Sit. Just sit for a moment. You might think, no, I need more sleep. No, you need more time of just sitting in absolute silence for a moment. Sitting and just looking around and being aware for a moment. Laying in bed and just open eyes and just look around. When that thought comes of, oh my goodness, you're just like, I got nothing to do right now. Nothing. And then get up and move on in your day. Oh my goodness, you're going to see an incredible transformation of life by doing such a thing. And you're going to notice you're going to be doing that more throughout your day. When this craziness comes on, when a boss man comes in, he's like, you got this, you got the deadline of this. You're going to look at it and say, oh, okay. All right. And then you're going to focus and you're going to get it done. What usually takes you 8 hours, you're going to get it done in 45 minutes. I don't know how, but that's just how life literally works. That's how everything I do out here works. I'm just like, okay, I want to build this. And I'm putting a plan together. And I'm thinking, okay, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a couple of days. And then you just clear and then you just focus and then you make the decision and you work on it. And it's done. And you're like, wow, where'd the time go? And you're looking like, oh my goodness, like I still have a whole day left. I thought this was going to take a couple of days. That's how life literally works when you stop reacting. You start just doing and stop just in this haste of bouncing from one place to the next. It's a very interesting way to be able to live. And that's the message that I get from the Jesus that I follow. not the God of Jesus that everybody wants him to be. That's not what Jesus is. He's an example for us to be able to follow, an example of how to be able to be on this planet, an example of how to be able to deal with people, an example of how to be able to deal with disagreements, with problems, with chaos, with tragedy. There's so much in that book that is just really neat about the concepts of how to follow the man of what he was. Of when someone is talking about you, you know what? If that's what they say I am, God, that's probably one of my favorite passages that I don't even know the specific number because I try not to memorize the book no more. I used to try to memorize it, and that was leading me down a negative hole. But the passage of because there's the one that he says, hey, who do they say I am? Who do they say I am? Because he's asking his disciples, who do they say I am? And then they all tell him, this is who they say you are. This is who they say you are. And he's like, okay, all right. And he doesn't need a rebuttal. He doesn't need to fight. He doesn't stand up and say, that's not right. That's not right. That's not right. He's like, okay. When he's getting persecuted to the point that they're trying to take his life. What did they say I did? He didn't say he did it. He didn't say that that's what he was. He said that if they say that that's who I am, then that's that's what they say to who I am. That's who I am then. That's what it is. I can't change their opinions and change their minds. There's not a single word that I can say to be able to change that person's mind from thinking that I am something different than what they already think that I am. So that it is what it is. So whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. I can't stop it. I can't make it go away because the more that I try to defend myself, for instance, the more that they're going to keep on trying to fight back. The more that I just say silent, okay, all right. And then if someone in the end says, oh, why do you do that? I say, oh, I do that because of this. As opposed to what everyone else was saying, then I'm able to say what I say, but I'm not going to just react. I'm going to wait. I'm going to relax. I'm going to chill. It's such an interesting thing to be able to really be able to read and to really just let the reading go and just to be able to live. Forgive. Someone is doing something crazy to you, you forgive. Someone says, oh, I'll never forget though. Then you didn't forgive. Because if you forgave, you forgot. You're not worried about it. Doesn't mean that, so since someone, for instance, if somebody is doing something to you, say your husband or your wife that's just so ruthless to you, say they stabbed you, doesn't mean that you need to be friends with them. Doesn't mean you need to hang out with them. Means that, I don't care. It is what it is. It's done. I forgot it already. I'm going to move on with my life. Because I'm not in that anymore. I'm here now. I'm done. I've forgotten about that. I've forgiven, which is forgotten. And that's the message that a lot of people preach. Oh, you forgive, but never forget. No, that means you never forgave. You still have a chip on your shoulder. You're still angry. You're still hostile about it. You didn't forgive it. And you're just living in absolute agony by doing that. That's why it's an interesting thing of like hearing what, oh my goodness, especially preachers and all have to say about this book and especially about what Jesus is, especially when they pedalize him and put him as to being a God, as opposed to being a human being, a model citizen that we should all be able to learn from to be able to say, okay, this is how you be able to find the peace inside of your life. This is how to find the peace. Find the peace by forgiving. Find the peace by stop trying to control your world and control your life and allow something inside of you to be able to influence you to be able to make the right decisions. And you're going to always make the right decisions when you're allowing that to influence you, as opposed to you trying to, I'm going to this and I'm going to that. I'm going to buy this and I'm going to buy that. You're struggling because you're going to start to do shady things. You're going to start to do ridiculous stuff. You realize how little you actually really need to just be satisfied. Happy isn't the word. Satisfied. You want to be satisfied. Happy is fake. That comes and goes. But to be satisfied, it's very, very minimal. Very minimal. Especially when it comes down to a level of food. You'd be really surprised at how much food you actually need to be good. So many people out here, oh, my grocery bill this, my this, and my that. It's because you're buying stuff and adding stuff and consuming so much that does nothing for you, and you're not satisfied because you're looking for that, I want to feel good, I want to be happy, as opposed to just satisfied. It takes so little for us to be able to continue to keep on moving each day. So little. And that's proven in reality in history based on certain things, certain wars and certain stuff that's going on, how little of food that people had, and they were able to still keep pushing through. You don't really need that much. But today, with all this gluttonous of everything, everyone thinks, I got to have all these things. No, you're just trying to make yourself happy. And you can't make yourself happy. You can force it. You could try, but once you're happy, you're going to be sad. You don't want to be that. You want to be satisfied, just content, just able to just relax. That's getting out of being reactive. Just relax. Just sit down and relax. You wake up in the morning, just wake up and just relax. When you go to sleep, just go to sleep, relax, and then go to sleep. Get away from everything that's going on in the world. Ophi, you come here. Oh my goodness, you got big old cactus in you today. We gotta go get the pliers on that. That's such a good dog.